The storm was louder than her thoughts, but not louder than her hunger. Claire stood outside the diner, soaked to the bone, holding a letter in a torn envelope, addressed to God. Her fingers trembled as she tucked it into the mailbox. She didn't believe in miracles. But when you're a single mom with $27, a sick child, and no rent money, you start believing in anything. Inside the warm, buzzing diner, Claire returned to wiping counters and faking smiles. She worked the late shift at Miller's Grill in upstate New York. It wasn't much, but the free coffee and leftover pie at the end of her shift kept her and her 6-year-old daughter Ellie going. Tonight, though, she felt different, like something had shifted in the universe. Maybe it was the letter. 3 days ago, Ellie had collapsed at school. The diagnosis: a rare blood condition that needed immediate and expensive treatment. Claire had no insurance. Her daughter's innocent brown eyes haunted her every second she wasn't at home. That letter to God, it was her last cry. She didn't ask for much, just enough to save Ellie. The next morning, the door to the diner opened, and a tall, grumpy man walked in. Wet coat, unshaven face, designer shoes. He didn't look like he belonged. He ordered black coffee, no sugar, and stared out the window for hours. His name was Thomas Grayson, a billionaire tech investor going through a personal crisis. His wife had left, his father had died, and his fortune felt like a burden instead of a blessing. Claire didn't know who he was. She treated him like any other customer, kind but tired. She even scolded him once for smoking outside too close to the door. That's probably what caught his attention. She didn't care who he was. Over the next few days, he kept coming back. Same seat, same coffee, same silence. One night, Claire's shift ended late, and her car wouldn't start. Thomas saw her struggling and offered her a ride. She hesitated, but the snow was falling fast. On the drive, they didn't talk much until Ellie came up. Claire spoke about her daughter like she was made of starlight. Her love for her child poured into the quiet space between them. Thomas was moved. He hadn't felt warmth like that in years. When he dropped her off, he watched her walk into a tiny apartment complex, the kind where paint peels off the walls and the hallway smells like old soup. Something inside him stirred. The next morning, Claire got a call. The hospital. Someone had anonymously paid for Ellie's full treatment. She dropped the phone. Tears flooded her cheeks. She didn't understand. Then she remembered the letter. She ran to the diner, heart pounding. Thomas was there, sipping coffee like usual. She walked straight up to him. "It was you, wasn't it?" she asked, voice shaking. He didn't answer at first. Then he looked at her and said, "No, it was God. I was just the messenger." The words hit her like sunlight after a storm. That day, something shifted between them. A bond neither planned, but both needed. Thomas started showing up more, helping with groceries, talking to Ellie, smiling more, laughing even. Weeks passed. Ellie grew stronger. Claire's joy returned, and Thomas, he found purpose. One afternoon, as they all shared dinner in Claire's kitchen, he pulled out the torn letter Claire had written to God. "I found this in my coat pocket," he said softly. "No idea how it got there, but it found me." Claire gasped. That coat had been hanging near the mailbox outside the diner. Wind must have blown it in, or maybe something else. They all laughed and cried that night. Not everything was perfect. Life still brought challenges. But they faced them together. Claire never imagined a simple letter would change her life. And Thomas, he never expected that the answer to his emptiness would come from a waitress with $27 and a heart big enough to carry 2 broken souls. They didn't fall in love instantly. They grew into it. Slow, honest, beautiful. In the end, it wasn't about a billionaire saving a waitress. It was about two people saving each other, and a little girl who reminded them that faith, even when scribbled in desperation, never goes unanswered.